All right, folks, so the jig is definitely up, but, okay, it seems like they might have, they might have put the jig down for at least one night, perhaps 2 more nights, because Jay-Z is hitting the first night of his legendary 3-night run at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx in New York City, and he is touching the stage. He's proven to everybody in the world that he's not an old head no more, right? His knees still work. He can still pop it, okay? He can still remember the lyrics to some of them songs that are damn near 20, 30 years old, all right? He has definitely blown the dust off of his plaques, and it was a very interesting display. So I'm going to break it all down to you in this video, but for me, I feel like it's a little bit... he's just a little bit past it at this point, okay? It's a little bit, he creaking at the knees a little bit, if you ask me. But it was very interesting to observe. And, he rolled out another freestyle with no beat under it. This one was a little bit strained. It didn't go as crazy as the last one, and a lot of people are feeling like, come on, man, like the jig is up. Let's just move on, all right? Let's just get him into the nursing home and get back to what these kids are listening to. Some people feel that way, other people don't. But I'm gonna break it down to you in this video with a little dose of humor, right? Let's not take everything so goddamn seriously all the time. So it all started off, all right? It all started off with Beyonce shaving off his hair. Now, some people think this is fake, okay? Apparently, Jay-Z's got a habit of changing up his hairstyle for, big moments in his career, big album drops, stuff like that. And apparently it kicked off, okay? Hopefully I don't get copyright striked for even sharing this history. But Jay-Z basically got his head shaved by Beyonce in the bleachers in what looked like a pre-recorded segment. Look at this. So, you know what I'm saying? We got the first episode of Shaving Sean Carter. Okay, it was pretty interesting. But then came his freestyle, another beatless freestyle, all right, that a lot of people felt like this maybe was some of the offcuts from the first freestyle that he dropped. Because he dropped that Roots Picnic freestyle, no beat, all right, some kind of disjointed bars, not really quite on beat. I don't know if he can keep on beat these days. But he kind of, addressed some of the sellout allegations. And I thought this was ironic because I'm not going to lie, these bars were lame. All right, these were lame as hell. These were kind of embarrassing. I likened this in something I said. This is like some Krusty the Clown ass bars. Like, yeah, I sold out the stadium. Like, yeah, you did sell out. And then he kind of backtracks about the Target thing. I'm a Target. They all Targets. It's kind of like but like, you're gonna address what was actually going on. Like, the community was meant to be boycotting Target, and you just kind of deflecting. It was kind of razzle dazzle to deflect people from the fact that he doesn't really seem to live by the principles that he's extolled and have got him to this point in his career.
Yeah, I sold out. Yeah, I did sell. They say I sold out. Yeah, I did sell out. 3 nights. I sold Yankee Stadium the hell out.
Like, he thought he did something. He like, yeah, I killed that shit. They said I sold out. Yeah, I sold the stadium out. Like, bro, that's some clapped out old bars, bro. Come on. He dropped a bomb on that one. There's quite a lot of bars where it's like he has these sort of mic drop moments, and it's like the crowd don't really react. He's kind of like, okay, next bar.
I'm a Target. Hey, don't miss that Target. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did.
So he said, I'm a Target, no exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did. And it's like, yeah. No, it seems like you did have an exclusive with Target while the black community was boycotting them, and you kind of went around them for corporate reasons, and then you backtracked and pretend it didn't happen after the fact. Like, that you know what I'm saying? Like, can you explain why you're not a sellout again? Because I don't really understand. Sounds like you're a sellout and a backtracker.
You shopping at Amazon or Apple and Walmart did? You shopping at Amazon or you boycott? You posted on Instagram? That's meta, boy. Stop it.
I mean, yeah, he said you buying on Amazon, you supposed to be boycotting. You buying on Instagram, that's meta, boy. Stop it. Ain't we supposed to be boycotting, meta? Ain't we supposed to be? Well, the point is that you went around the community. You went around the boycott that was going on with Target. It's kind of like, but everybody else is using Instagram. It's like, these aren't owns. These aren't big, big clapbacks. These are kind of like wriggling out of situations that you created kind of bars to me. And the next one's definitely one of those.
Y'all know Google owns YouTube. Y'all know Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing and politicking as usual.
I don't know. He's saying Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing, politicking as usual. Now, I don't know if, like, I don't think YouTube was getting boycotted. Like, was there ever a... not that I'm aware of that there was a boycott of YouTube. I mean, was there a black community boycott of Amazon, Meta? I mean, it was a Target thing. The thing was about Target, right? He talking about... apparently there was a boycott against Amazon because they were rolling back DEI initiatives. But it's kind of like, yeah, like, you ain't doing business with Amazon. Like, you doing business with Target, and they was getting boycotted. So it's like, people saying, what the hell is he talking about? I'm just rambling. All right, maybe that haircut was the source of his powers in the last freestyle, because he got a haircut before this one, and then it ain't really hit him.
They digging deep, but nowadays it's embarrassing. They run out of characters, had to bring back up Cap again.
He said they're getting deeper nowadays. They running out of characters, had to bring up Kaepernick. He doesn't address the fact that, like, he said, we passed kneel in. Forget about BLM, all the boycotting the NFL. I'm trying to get this bag from the NFL. He said they bringing up Kaepernick. And what he's about to say is basically Kaepernick signed a settlement with the NFL and, you know, signed a non-disparagement that he couldn't talk about them. And that's it. He's saying, like, that's why Kaepernick can't even say anything bad about him. But it's like, you said you ain't really explain. This doesn't explain it. Like, you said we was past kneeling. I don't really even care. I think the boycott's like ain't really gonna do nothing. You know, people have been getting on me in the comments like, oh, you caping for black people. I really don't care. I just feel like this is lame and it doesn't really address any of the critiques that were actually going up against him.
Bring back up Cap again. A buddy took a check. I ain't even mad at him. But along with that check, got a sign of non-disparagement. I'm the one they can't control. Y'all better be glad it's him.
He said, I'm the one they can't control. They better be glad it's him. Colin Kaepernick had to sign a non-disparagement. It's like, you the one they can't control, but like you not a wild card. You not taking the knee. You're not standing up to the black so-called black oppression that was going on that Colin Kaepernick was doing. He was saying he was upset because he was admonished for taking the knee in protest of Black Lives Matter. You know, trying to stick up and spread awareness for the plight of black people in America. And he kind of saying, I mean, I guess to be fair, I guess what he's trying to say is that they're calling him a sellout, but Colin Kaepernick actually sold out. And he's not allowed to say anything bad about the NFL. Well, you could say that, but then you could also say the fact that Colin Kaepernick got paid a settlement is kind of like he got something out of the NFL. He got something out of that protest that he was doing, but for himself. But again, it's like, I guess he's pointing out the hypocrisy of like Colin Kaepernick taking a settlement, but he's not allowed to take a big check from the NFL and say that the whole community is speaking on behalf of the whole community and saying we're past kneeling. I don't know. You guys let me know if that's making sense, if he's set the record straight enough with that bar. But again, it's kind of like, it's like, I feel like he really felt like he was doing something with this, but it's kind of like,
y'all better be glad it's him.
A little bit of silence there, kind of like, felt like you was hoping people were like, yeah, fuck Colin. But like, people was kind of like, I'm
the one they can't control. You better be glad it's him. $500 million back in the community. That's just good math for him.
$500 million back in the community. That's just good math for him. How much money was he going to take out the community with that casino deal that fell through?
I don't listen to Twitter activists. They type and I laugh at them.
He don't listen to Twitter activists. They type and he laughs at them. That's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that he's really upset and he's really hot under the collar about everybody talking shit about him.
There's really no comparison. Y'all check my stats again. I'm bringing folks home to their family. Laws get passed because him. You could like it or not. He don't do no ass kissing.
So he says they don't do no ass kissing, right? So,
I don't listen to Twitter activists. They type and I laugh at them. There's really no comparison. Y'all check my stats again. I'm bringing folks home to their family. Laws get passed because him. You could like it or not. He don't do no ass kissing.
So, you know, he was apparently like, you know, he had a private dinner with the MAGA Republicans, kissing some ass to get Desiree Perez a pardon. but they don't do no ass kissing, bro, and he's not bothered about what's going on Twitter.
Ex-drug dealer, you might not like the packaging, but my presence is the president. My gift is rapping, oh shit.
He had to oh shit on his own bar. That is the most, my presence is a presence. My presence is a present is one of the most played out, lamest, oldest bars. Like, brother, man, my gift is rapping. Oh, she had to hit the oh shit for himself. Come on, man. We're not pulling our own oh shits. So look, I want to give you just a little bit of backstory on the Colin Kaepernick thing, because it's just like, I feel like that's probably the most important thing about this whole thing, this whole show. And arguably, you know, he kind of, in some ways, he makes a good point, you know, but he does completely deflect any of the criticism of himself. He's saying he is sellout, he's done sold out the shows, he sold out, but it's like, rather than being like, I'm not a sellout, it's like, yeah, I'm a sellout, so is Colin Kaepernick sold out in the end anyway. So let me give you a little bit of backstory just so you know, like, how this whole Colin Kaepernick thing kind of started.
Well, Rich, just over my shoulder, Colin Kaepernick is warming up with his teammates on the field, but a little bit later tonight, about 100 feet to my right on the sideline, he is expected to kneel once again and protest to what he says are social injustices to African Americans. And just more than a month ago, when he started this, he sat alone. That is no longer the case.
Oh, say, can you see?
The lyrics of the national anthem rang out in Levi Stadium for what, so we thought, was a meaningless preseason game. But what went mostly unnoticed at the time surely is anything but meaningless now.
It's to bring awareness and make people realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change.
In the effort to stand for what he believed in, his action to sit was later lifted to taking a knee. As 5 weeks have passed, each day offering a new voice, a new form of support, another point of conflict.
You got to respect the flag. It's bigger than just you.
The reason these guys are kneeling, the reason we're locking arms is to bring people together, to make people aware that this is not right.
Colin Kaepernick's protest to evoke attention to social injustices has spurred reaction and action unlike any we've seen in recent decades. Here we are, in the midst of a social movement where a quarterback, once known for flexing his biceps to celebrate a touchdown, now sits as a backup and kneels for what he believes in.
When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
So he tried to turn the whole NFL into a kind of court for his activism, right? Now, I really, honestly, at this point, it's been enough time since the BLM movement, and you know, some of it has worked out, some of it has ended up being a bit of a grift. You know, a lot of people made money off the back of the BLM movement. I personally am just observing what's going on. Okay, this was 9 years ago, and since then, you know, Jay-Z made it clear we're past kneeling. All right, you guys let me know if we were past kneeling when Jay-Z said that, but. Basically, okay, the NFL said, yeah, you can shut the hell up, all right? This ain't no activism. This is sports, all right? This is a big business, okay? This ain't no political statement. We ain't trying to draft Malcolm X, none of that, all right? Let's skip that shit. And so basically, the NFL kind of turned their back on Colin Kaepernick. And so, like, by the time we got to 2019, this is all going off in 2016, he was basically unsigned. No team wanted to work with him. He became persona non grata in the NFL. And, he filed grievances against the NFL, accusing the league of colluding to keep him out because nobody wanted to be associated with his activism. And, that's where we got to the point where they started... saying, well, how can we get the black community on side? Let's have Jay-Z being responsible for the programming and the Super Bowl programming and such. And basically, like, Jay-Z popped up and said, we passed kneeling. And everyone just forgot about Colin Kaepernick.
Fast forward to March of 2017. Kaepernick decides he's going to opt out of his contract with the 49ers and test out free agency. After all, a 7-year vet who's been to the Super Bowl and just threw 16 TD passes has to have some suitors, right? Nick Foles, EJ Manuel, Geno Smith, Mike Glennon, all ink deals in free agency, while Kaepernick still doesn't have a job. The word blackballed begins to trend online. In June, the Seahawks invited a few quarterbacks, including Kaepernick, to a workout, and in the end, signed Austin Davis? NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell continues to say NFL teams are making, quote, football decisions. September of 2017. Enter Donald Trump. In a series of tweets and this comment at a rally in Alabama.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired.
Now, you remember how Jay-Z always talk about how he beefing with MAGA Republicans, but in this one, they clicked up.
Fired! Trump makes his opinions on the protests pretty clear. The number of players who immediately joined Kaepernick's protest goes through the roof, but his job offers do not. October 15th, 2017, Kaepernick files a collusion grievance suit against the NFL, saying he hasn't been signed because of his protests. Players around the league continue protesting, and in May of 2018, the league announces a new policy. In short, you can stay in the dressing room during the anthem, but if you come to the field, you have to stand. It takes less than 2 weeks for the NFLPA to challenge this policy, and both sides agree to put it aside, at least for now. Finally, August 31st, an arbitrator denies the NFL's request to dismiss Kaepernick's case, saying there's enough evidence to send the case to a full hearing.
So, obviously, he got a little promotional marketing deal, got a Nike deal out of this and all that kind of thing. But here's the problem, okay? Jay-Z stepped in, and he'd previously been vocal about how the NFL treated Colin Kaepernick, but in 2019, he signed a partnership with the league. He joined in, all right? He clicked up with the NFL.
It's the NFL's newest team, business and music mogul Jay-Z partnering with Commissioner Roger Goodell in the league. The unlikely alliance seems like a Hail Mary after the rapper publicly bashed the NFL over its handling of the Colin Kaepernick controversy.
I guess my speaking out brought about a conversation, which brought about a conversation which led to a partnership.
At a press conference today recorded only by the NFL, Jay-Z was asked about partnering with the league while Kaepernick is still out of a job. The musician defending the move, saying the two have spoken. Tonight, the former quarterback tweeting, "I continue to work and stand with the people in our fight for liberation, despite those who are trying to erase the movement." Jay-Z's company, Rock
All right, I don't want to get sued for this
Nation,
music.
now advising the league on entertainment, including the Super Bowl halftime show and consult.
I'm sorry, but is it a conspiracy that, like, the moment they showed the Rock Nation logo, they played copyright music under it? Like, oh, that's smart.
Some campaign, Inspire Change. After supporting Kaepernick for taking a knee to protest racial injustice and police brutality, the entrepreneur is now being criticized for trying to capitalize on partnering with the NFL. Eric Reed, who kneeled beside Kaepernick, called the move disingenuous.
I think we have the greatest platform in the world, and we're using it in a very positive way.
Tonight, a foe turned friend of the league, trying to clean up the NFL's bad rap with community activism. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fan.
So this is kind of like Jay-Z famously said, "We're past kneeling," okay? He famously said that was kind of like the infamous line, all right? He basically said, "We passed it. We passed kneeling. We done it, all right? We over this."
Okay, I think we passed kneeling. I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what
done with that shit.
You know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so...
Where are we moving on next? That check! That Sean, sign that check, baby. That's what we're moving on to next. We got it.
To be clear, for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it, because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job.
It's one about him having a job. He still ain't got a job, right? Okay, he could be flipping the burgers at Denny's for all I know. But basically, okay, Jay-Z would basically address his Target sponsorship in the freestyle. Obviously, he talks about that. He a Target, who you boycott. You're not boycotting Meta. You're not boycotting YouTube owned by Google. You're not boycotting. No, because the ongoing boycott was against Target, and it was all about black consumers, right? So this was kind of another, we beyond kneeling, we beyond boycotting too, man. Just get the album, bro. And then they backtrack on the exclusive as well, which is hilarious. Okay, so it says Jay-Z's partnership with Target sparked a debate with black consumers. Some online are criticizing the hip-hop billionaire for partnering with Target for the release of the 30th anniversary edition of Reasonable Doubt. A new business partnership by the hip-hop mogul Sean Jay-Z Carter has sparked outrage online. Complex reported Target is releasing an exclusive anniversary edition of his 1996 album, but wait a minute, I thought it wasn't exclusive. And once the backlash started, it stopped being exclusive. We backtracked and said it was never exclusive. They're doing the same shit as Apple and Walmart, except not true. All right, it was exclusive for a bit until the backlash. So it had a commemorative packaging, a unique vinyl color variant, previously unreleased versions of special tracks, select tracks. Basically, it had an extra track on there that's been a very elusive track. Fans have been trying to get their hands on for years, a remix, famous remix or some shit. And they gave that to Target as exclusive. And then Jay-Z backtracked, talking about, oh, I'm a Target, boycott this, boycott that. All right. It says, while some fans welcome the special 30th anniversary collector's release, others question Jay-Z's decision to partner with the retail giant, which has faced lingering backlash and an ongoing boycott. Pastor Jamal Bryant and other black social justice and religious leaders called on the black community to stop shopping at Target after the retailer rolled back several diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The popular Instagram platform Essence of Black Culture accused Jay-Z of allowing his brand to be manipulated in a way that undermines efforts to hold corporations accountable. But we passed kneeling and we passed boycotts. Just get the vinyl. With the success the black community had boycotting them, he made himself available to be used directly to smack the community in the face. Basically, it seems like when the black community is outraged and trying to actually mobilize and create some action, these billion-dollar corporate overlords, they draft in Jay-Z to just kind of like muddy the waters and clean shit up, basically. That's what's being alleged, okay? I didn't want to make this post because a lot of the community slobber on meat when it comes to celebrities, but there's no reason Jay-Z should be exclusively partnering with Target to release his album. It can only be purchased through them. With the success the black community had boycotting them, he made himself available to be used directly to smack the community in the face in a, yeah, and y'all ain't gonna do shit about it either, like y'all never do. This is the same person you defended when people were planning the biggest NFL boycott because of what they did to Colin Kaepernick, and he partnered with them, and y'all just said, well, just watch, Jay-Z's smart, he's gonna work from the inside to get Cap back. All he did was work to get diverse halftime performers and his money up. He got Kendrick on there to rub it in Drake's face, all right? The jig is up. And the only cap that he got is capping about getting Cap back. It was a double cap. He had multiple caps. He had all types of caps, like Lil Jeff and them. So the blog also pointed to Carter's controversial decision to partner with the NFL in 2019. We already know all that, all right? Exclusive. It was a Target exclusive, all right? They trying to pull the wool over your eyes. It was a Target exclusive all along. Let's not forget, it is a Target exclusive. Some people have defended him, saying this is a normal part. You know, exclusive retail partnerships have been a standard part of the music industry. While his wife, Beyonce, has donated and supported causes to empower the black community. Others pointed to Carter's unapologetic stance as a capitalist and argued the deal should be viewed as a strategic marketing move. It's all strategic with Jay-Z, okay? But he has actually a long-running pattern. This isn't an accident. This is the programming. This is the plan. The first time that Jay-Z pulled this genius move, and he has done this time and time again in his career, is when in 2006 he spearheaded a boycott against Cristal champagne. He said, they're racist. We got to stop drinking Cristal. Oh, what should we buy then, Jay-Z? My drink. My drink.
This newspaper caught my eye as well. Jay-Z says, hey, if you don't want me, I don't want you. He's organizing a hip-hop boycott of Cristal champagne. It has become a very popular drink among the hip-hop set, often shown off at music parties or on MTV Cribs. The managing director of Cristal recently stirred controversy. He suggested that all these shout-outs for his product might actually be hurting the overall brand image.
So Jay-Z said, boycott, man. We need to take the knee on Cristal. Okay. What should we buy instead? Well, only a few months later, he dropped Show Me What You Got. And what he had was Ace of Spades. He said, listen, if you ain't drinking Ace of Spades, then you a bitch.
Just goes to show how you can leverage your fame beyond just the music. About a decade ago, the
Who did he do it?
Beyond just the music.
Jay-Z and who? Oh, okay.
About a decade ago, The Economist interviewed the director of the company that makes Cristal champagne. It's one of the most expensive champagnes in the world, favored by Russian czars over history. He was asked, what did he think about all these rappers drinking Cristal champagne? And he basically said, well, we can't forbid people from buying it. Not exactly a ringing endorsement of a new customer base. He thought that rappers didn't read The Economist, but he was wrong. Jay-Z heard about his comments. He removed it from his 40/40 club, and more importantly, he started issuing this sort of directive to his fans not to drink it either. And instead of rapping about Cristal, he put his money where his mouth was. He ended up investing in and eventually taking over a French champagne brand called Armand de Brignac, aka Ace of Spades. You see this in his videos, the gold bottles, he raps about it all the time, and this has now become one of his most valuable assets in his entire portfolio.
Ace of Spades, eh? Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. And what happened? He eventually sold it on to corporate overlords for a reported $600 million. It was never about the boycott. It was never about the racism. It was about the Benjamins. No crumb.
Everybody, this morning, Moet Hennessy announcing that it's going to be acquiring a 50% stake in luxury champagne brand Armand de Brignac. It's also known as Ace of Spades. The brand was popularized and created by Grammy-winning artist and businessman Jay-Z, who owns it and will retain a 50% ownership stake alongside Moet. Joining us right now with more on this deal is music mogul and entrepreneur Sean Jay-Z Carter and Philippe Schaus, who is the CEO of Moet Hennessy, the wines and spirits arms of LVMH. And gentlemen, welcome to both of you this morning. It's really great to see you on the news of this deal. Jay-Z, I was hoping we could start with you. Good morning. Good morning to both of you. Jay-Z, I was hoping we could start with you because I know that you are incredibly particular about how you do things. You talked about this with Tidal. You don't do things the easy way. You do things the way you think are going to have the best results. So why Moet?
They just was aligned in our thinking and thoughts and, the way they care about products and creating products. When we built Armand from the ground up, we wanted to do things right. The integrity of it had to be right. The soil, of course, it had to be in Champagne because it can't be called Champagne unless it's from the region. When we
he put so much thought into it, it was just making sure it was at least called Champagne.
We build luxury products, whether it be, from Roc Nation to Monogram to whatever we building luxury products, and Moet Hennessy goes about it the same way. So we were aligned in our thoughts of integrity and passion for the things that we build. And, when I met, it started with Alexander. We had conversations, and then Bernard, they came to my house to have lunch in Los Angeles, my Los Angeles home, and maybe October of 2019. And, those conversations, escalated pretty quickly. I see these guys were men of their words. They say they're going to call you Thursday. It's Thursday. It just started out in a place of respect, and it built from there. It built pretty quickly.
I'm not going to lie. He said a whole bunch of nothing, right? He is basically talking about some white billionaires that he sold the business to for millions, okay? And he basically capitalized on the boycott. I'm not in a disagreement. The way Cristal spoke about their black audience wasn't cool, all right? But it's like Jay-Z was very smart to basically say, I'm going to grab this outrage, I'm going to point it towards something that basically enriches me personally in a big way. And, it stopped being a black-owned business. He went into business with them billionaire white folks, right? And look, more power to him, all right? But the idea of him running around being an activist, all right, is not accurate, okay? So when he hops on that stage talking about, oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, he had to sign a non-disparagement, everyone bringing up Cap again, all right? When everyone was outraged about the racism from Cristal, you built up your own brand and you sold it to this guy, okay? You sold it to, you went into business with this guy. So is this any different to where all of that money was going from Cristal? I don't know. I don't know what Bernard Arnault's opinion is on black people, but again, it wasn't starting Ace of Spades wasn't a move of activism. It was a move of commerce to get a lot of money out of his audience. Okay, and now look, I'm really tired of just getting crazy comments of look. I can talk about race, I can talk about Jay-Z, I can just tell you the facts. And you guys let me know, set me straight in the comments if I'm barking up the wrong tree. Was Jay-Z in the right? Is he just a legend because he's playing a big show? If you a sellout and you sell out 3 nights in the stadium, does that means you ain't a sellout? Like, you tell me. That's all I'm going to say on this one. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm done for now. Peace out. That's it. Bye.